Hello, everybody, and welcome to another daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby on a Sunday, as per usual. And I'm actually here in the flesh this week, unlike last time, which kind of didn't end up too well, did it? Well, we've got all the regulars in the house already. Blood Nose, Alan, Sanity Checkers, Gary, Victoria, David, all of you there. Good to see everybody. If you can make sure that you give the thumbs up a hit as you come in, get the old algorithm talking, and that'll be wonderful. Well, tonight, it's not just me sitting here talking for an hour. I've got a guest, and I will bring him in. The Fitness Hutch. You've probably seen him if you're subscribed to Absolutely Average and Trevor Colt. He's been on with both of them. If you're not subscribed to them, go ahead and do so because you're missing out. So let's bring him in now and we will say hello. Hello.
Hi everyone. How you doing? All good?
Not too bad, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good actually, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, obviously you're new on the YouTube scene. You're here, and you're doing good work. And we all wanted to get you on our channels and talk to you, and see what you're about, what you do, and help you help others, kind of thing. So, yeah.
It's been a busy couple of weeks. I've been on with Absolutely Average, and then on with Trevor last week, and a couple of lives myself, and then I'm here tonight. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind.
You did a couple of hours worth of live stream yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah. So we the podcast. We'll talk about the podcast in a bit, but we've started doing it. Well, it was the first time we did it live this weekend, just to see how it would go.
Okay, and how did it go?
Well, do you know what? It was all right. I think it's a little bit nerve-wracking when you're doing anything like that. And we'd never really thought about doing lives before until we went on with Russ. And obviously, when you're not just talking about general news, there's people going to come in and speak about their mental health and ask us questions. And you've got to be really careful, especially in the professions we're in, to not say anything too controversial or say the wrong thing or give the wrong advice. But as it happens, there was a really good bunch, and I found like this whole YouTube community around you guys seems to be really good and really supportive. So we come away buzzing, actually.
Excellent. Before we go any further, I've got a lot of people in the comments saying that your sound's crackly. It just started happening. It didn't sound too bad to me, but they're saying it's crackly. I know you had the problem with it the other night, didn't you? When you were doing a test, it went crackly, and then
we was on it's the same Wi-Fi we're back on now, and the microphones were the problem before, and I'm not using them now.
Right. Okay. Well, let me take you out and put you back in again, and we'll see what happens. Bear with me, folks. Right, how's that?
If it comes back in and it's still crackly, I've got another Wi-Fi I can switch over to, but this one's running pretty well.
That sounds better to me. How does it sound to everyone else? Give me a 1 in the chat if the sound's better. Yeah, Anna Perkins has said possibly a bit of feedback.
Yeah, it's a bit strange because I've got nothing else happening here, and
right. Okay.
Is it still crackling now?
Yeah, I've got people saying still bad. 222. Yeah, I don't. Do you want to try taking yourself out and back in again? I mean, the frustrating thing is, folks, we've been talking off air for about 15 minutes with no problem at all, and all of a sudden it's crackling. So
I've turned my volume down here. Has that helped at all?
What do you reckon, guys? Has it helped?
Do we think that's... If it's not going any better, what I'll do is I'll leave and I'll come back.
Just see what they say. It's okay, Andy. Just plod on, mate. It's okay. That's David Else said. others are saying not good. Try the other Wi-Fi. Yeah, drop
All right.
yourself and come back in again because that seemed to reset it.
Yeah. All right. Give me a couple of minutes.
Well, while he's gone, sorting that out, you're stuck with little old me again, which is a bit of a thing. I mean, we've been talking for about 15 minutes with no issues, so I don't know why that's just suddenly started behaving like that. Is my sound okay, or was it just Fitness Hutch? Give me a 1 if my sound's okay. Yeah, all right. Cheers, Blood Nose. I appreciate that. My sound's okay. Frugal Stew. Yeah, bloody technology. It's a shame, but hopefully he'll come back and he'll be all right. I know when he was doing a test the other day, it crackled and disappeared, but he managed to sort it out. I think Trevor said it was something to do with the mics, so we'll have to see. But he said he wasn't using them, so a little bit strange there. Let's say hello to a couple of people. Mark Hampson, hello to you. Declan, Christine Ayres, hello to you. I mean, you're all in here, and it's all good. I hope he can get back reasonably quick because, we've got a lot to talk about. So hopefully he'll get it. Yeah, I heard a little bit of a crackle, but obviously it amplified itself a little bit. I mean, I'm on Wi-Fi as well with mine, but I've got like a Wi-Fi extender. So in effect, I'm literally that close. But he's just come back in now, so we'll pull him back in and see how we do. Right, how we doing?
Yeah, I've switched to my other Wi-Fi now, and my mic was showing fine, but you're a bit glitchy to me now.
Okay, well, I can hear you absolutely 5x5 loud and clear.
Well, see what the chat says. If the chat are okay, then...
Okay. Yeah, if we can do a sound check for Fitness Hutch, give me a 1 if he's okay now. Yeah, better. Sounds great.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I normally sound great, to be fair. Like, it'd have to be pretty bad for me not to sound great.
Yeah, you said you like to talk, don't you? So you got to sound great.
Apologies, everyone. Apologies.
Well, we get these technical troubles, don't we? So that's okay. So you were in the army?
Yeah, I joined the army at 17, 1997. Left in 2004, Armoured Corps.
Okay. Did you? Where did you go? Did you see much?
So I was based in Germany for most of it. I had an operational tour in Bosnia. I managed to avoid anything too horrendous. I say I missed out. It always sounds like I'm saying I wanted to go, but I missed out on going to the Gulf because I had a career course, and that's what the army do. They would rather you do courses because they can replace you. And then when I left in 2004, they were trying to get me to sign back on to go to Afghan, but it was a 6-month tour, and you had to sign back on for a year and then sign off again. So it would have been 2 years back in, and I just didn't fancy it.
Yeah, you thought sod that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad I didn't, to be fair.
Yeah, my old man did a tour of Northern Ireland back in the early 70s, and he did 9.5 years and got out. I think they were talking about sending him on a second tour. I don't think he fancied that either, and finished up in Colchester. And got out after 9.5. It's all right. He wasn't in the glass house. He was somewhere near it, but
yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, a tour it's not something easy. It's 6 months away from home, and Bosnia was no joke, even in the early 2000s. But it wasn't at the level of the guys that have been to the Gulf and been to Afghan and even Ireland in the 70s. I don't envy that at all.
Well, my old man was a military policeman, So he's the kind that tells off people like Trevor when they're chucking their top cover out the top end of their jeans.
Yeah.
But he had a pre-planned phone call with my mother periodically. It's hello, I'm here. I mean, obviously back in the 70s there was none of this, and it was an okay. And he didn't make that call one time. And my mum told the story. She saw on the television, I think it was 3 military policemen had been killed in Northern Ireland, and she'd not heard from my dad. It was like, But as it turns out, everything was all right. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here. But yeah, scary stuff.
It's got to be so disturbing for loved ones back home, hasn't it? Like, I just can't imagine. Yeah. Like my lad now, I can't imagine him ever doing that.
God, yeah. And you come out of there and you join the prison service. Well, what was that like?
Yeah, I had about a year as a civilian out of uniform, just doing like civil engineering bits. But I missed that kind of camaraderie in that life, so I joined the prison service, and I was a prison officer for 7 years.
Okay.
A prison called I don't know if I can say, but anyway, it was a Cat C jail in the East Midlands.
Did you have to change your name on social media or anything? Because I've got a friend who was a copper, and then he was a prison officer, and he's a prison officer now. And he commented on one of my things on social media, and I looked, I thought, who the hell's that? And it was my friend, but he had to change his name.
I did. Yeah, I did for a bit, and I had an alter ego that I used not just because of prisoners, but because of people that worked in the prison looking for an excuse to grass you up for saying something that wasn't politically correct. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, I did change for a bit.
Political correctness is a pain in the arse, isn't it?
It is when you can't speak the truth. Like, yeah. there's got to be that line, hasn't there, of what's decent and what's not. But absolutely. Saying something in satire is a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get on YouTube, for example, you have to be so careful now. They're censoring just about everything. You can't swear as much as you used to. You can't talk about certain subjects. It's getting ridiculous. I mean, I feel like doing this sometimes, and I'll say what the hell I like, which I usually do off air.
I haven't quite got to the grips with it yet. I know when I went on with Russ, I dropped a couple of C-bombs. I'm like, I've got to pretend I'm talking to my nan. That's the way I do it. I've got to pretend that's what I'm doing because I won't swear then.
Right. So what is the Fitness Hutch? Because you were telling me that you've got a gym is it in your house? And you
so I've got a building. So during the pandemic, obviously gyms were shut, and so we just had a gym built, a building put in the back garden. It's like a big summer house.
Right.
Kitting it out. I mean, it's not true gym, but it's got a decent pulling machine and a power cage and all the weights, and it was just for me to train in. And I thought afterwards, you know what, I could train people in here. I could get people in and use it for good. So it was just kind of a side thing. A couple of clients, a couple of times a week. And a few of my friends were saying, can't you do some online stuff? Can't you do some videos? And that's where this whole YouTube thing started. Literally just, and some of it was private videos because I couldn't work out how to get videos I was making for friends and family to them because you can't send big videos. So I was just uploading them as private videos and sending links like for motivation and things like that. And it just kind of spiraled from there.
Okay. I think one of the things you said in one of your podcasts, which we'll come to at the moment, you're into physical health, mental health, and nutrition as well, wasn't it? And how they all kind of together.
So I've worked with young people since I left the prison service. I've worked in residential children's homes, and now I work in the youth homeless sector. And a lot of what we do with them is around kind of well-being and nutrition and looking after themselves. and my wife's a psychiatric nurse, and been doing it for 23 years. Like, she doesn't, there's not much she doesn't know about mental health. So as it was progressing, because I believe that you should always try and progress and improve on what you're doing. So as it went from just me training fitness in the gym to training others to actually, we can help people. We can help people with their mental health. We can help people with nutrition, which impacts on your mental health, with exercise that impacts on your mental health, to then actually people just want to hear us talk about mental health. So then we started doing the podcast, and it's been, I say, really successful. I'm not Joe Rogan, but we've had loads of great feedback from people, friends, family, and people we don't know. So yeah, it's been quite positive.
Excellent. I mean, you've said in public, and I have myself as well, in the dim and distant past, suffered from mental health issues, namely depression. Everybody gets depression at some point, don't they? And you either end up getting stuck in it and you never come out again, or you find your way back to the light. I mean, that's how I always looked at it when I had the problem. There's that little pinprick of light in the distance called hope. And I said myself in my mind, if I lose that pinprick of light, I'm fucked. And, I managed to crawl my way back out of it. And no man's an island after all, are they? You need people around you. You need the support. And particularly now with what's happening in the world, it's mental health very, very important. And it's good
absolutely.
Work. Good work.
And when you look at statistically, you're looking at 1 in 4 people suffers from depression. So I mean, that's quarter of the population. Like, it really is a massive issue, and a lot of people don't like to talk about it, and especially people like me, people who have done the prison service, people who have done the army, alpha male type people who like to go in the gym. People like me don't turn around and go, I went home last night and cried myself to sleep and I don't know why. It's a real hard thing for people to talk about. And that's not to take anything away from everybody that suffers from it, because I think it's difficult for everyone. But I identified that in the areas and the circles that I mixed with, in the martial arts world and in the kind of the gym world, people don't talk about it. And, the people I know who have committed suicide, I think it's in double figures now in my lifetime. And that's not okay, is it? We need to be able to talk about it.
That's right, and encourage people to talk about it. I mean, us men are lousy, aren't we, at communicating our feelings? I mean, we never tell anybody anything. Yeah, I'm all right, alpha male, stiff upper lip, leave me alone, I'm fine. And it's not acceptable.
I'm lucky. I've got this lady that I live with who I don't need to tell her, because she could just look at me because she's done it for long enough and know. And, so I guess, but there's them people who have got no one to turn to, or no one that can support them or pick them up, and they're the people that I want to influence and reach. And that's what this is about. And that's not just a Fitness Hutch. That's what my life and our life is about, helping people. And, that's where we get our rewards.
Excellent. I mean, YouTube, I found over the course of the pandemic, 2020 through to 2022, where we were all told, stay indoors, protect the NHS, yada, yada, yada. People suddenly found their life was stripped away from them. I mean, I had I still do a fairly successful airport transfer business. And within 48 hours of Boris saying, stay at home, I lost about 20,000 quid's worth of work within 2 days. And you can imagine, I just went, oof, and I couldn't get off the sofa. It was awful. And how many other me's are there? How many other yous are there out there that had that? And this YouTube was a lifeline for a lot of people. I mean, I have a friend, I won't name him. He might be watching. He may not be, but he suffered with mental health issues for years. And unfortunately, they have consumed him, as it were. And this was a lifeline. And particularly if there's channels like yours discussing mental health, it is definitely a lifeline, and so worthwhile. I mean, what I'll do in a minute, I'll show the folks something of yours so they can see the setup and go from there. But what do you have people approach you independently and say help, or is it through the YouTube channel? What's the setup?
So we've had people come to us through like the live chat we did last night was actually really good. We had quite a few people asking questions about different mental health issues that they had and that family members had had. And I've had people that I know, and this is what I found strange. A lot of it hasn't been my new subscribers. By the way, if any of you new subscribers are watching, thank you. I've had people that I've known for years and know what we do for a living message me and say, oh, the podcast's great, or just, and not necessarily saying, oh, I've got mental health issues, but just reaching out, just having a conversation, just sending a message. So I guess it can be either way. And what I've always said, and what we say on the podcast, and the first one we did is, if you are struggling imminently and there is a real risk to life, then you need to seek immediate mental health attention. But if you just need to have a conversation about something, drop me an email. Like comment on one of my videos. I will talk to anyone. I'll set up a StreamYard and I'll sit and talk to someone for an hour because I like to talk. And I like to know that I'm helping people. And Mel, I keep saying me, but it's just not me, just so everybody knows. It's me and Mel. It's me and my wife. I'm just kind of I'm the face, and she's the face and the brains. So, yeah, that's kind of how it works. And I guess if anybody wants to get in touch or watch or just listen, some people just want to listen. There was... At one point, I think we had 23 people. I know it's not groundbreaking, but we had 23 people on that live last night, and probably 5 or 6 were talking. But you don't know how much impact the other, whatever, minus the people that weren't talking, how much of a positive impact we was having on them as well. And we went away and said, that was just amazing. It really was.
Absolutely. I mean, with these live streams, you get a lot of people that are watching, and they don't comment. They just like to watch. I mean, I've had people say, Andy, I don't always comment, but I do watch all the time. You'll get the same. I'm sure you'll get the same.
And if people can gain something just from watching, then that's we're achieving what we want to achieve.
Absolutely. Listen, everybody, this is the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, and tonight we have my guest, the Fitness Hutch. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on the chat because it helps the algorithm, get this live stream around. And, a subject as important as this one, it needs to go out there. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Andy the Gabby Cabby. And more importantly tonight, please subscribe to the Fitness Hutch. There is a link in the description of this live stream, which you'll see when it's ended, or you can even look at it now, depending on the device, with the link to the Fitness Hutch channel there. It's completely free to do and, very, very valuable insight and information. And I think Bloodnose, one of my mods, has just put the channel name there. So there you go. All right. So let's give him all the support we can and subscribe. Now, I've had a couple of people complaining about your sound again, but they said it's not as bad as it was. So we will just carry on and bear with it. What I want to do, because I've seen a couple of people comment about mental health, I just want to keep going back through the comments and pull out a couple of bits that caught my eye.
I know there's probably going to be a couple of people that I know have said they're going to come in tonight, but I just want them to know that I can't see any of the comments. So if anyone's asking me or talking to me direct, I'm not ignoring anyone. I just can't see any comments.
Well, I saw Frugal Stew come in. He was fairly early on. Here's one. David L. I have PTSD symptoms at times. Yes, Andy, we all got to look out for each other. I mean, that's absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
What's this one? I was in a dark place till I come across Andy, so I thank you for that, sir. No worries, Declan. Again, that's it, isn't it? The online communities we're forming.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all it takes, isn't it? Is that one little thing to bring you out of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I have people on here, and I'm sure you'll get it as well, where they don't go out. They literally don't go out, and this is all they've got. So, you know, you sit in front of a camera and talk, you know, you're doing something worthwhile straight away. Just having a look at some others.
On one of the episodes of the podcast, we talk about meaningful activity and getting out. And it was on the episode where I was talking about the struggles I've had. And I dragged myself out to go and do a session of jiu-jitsu. And that was a massive turning point for me. And all day, I was winding myself up. I was anxious. I felt sick, but I dragged myself out to do it. And that kind of really, really helped. And I think that's an important thing, that you've got to do something. You can't just sit, because you just get lower and lower.
That's right. I mean, I said it to you. Said it to you the other day with that old Navy SEAL admiral who said, "Make your bed." You know, if you've had a crap day, if you made your bed, you've achieved something. I suppose, even if it's a little thing, isn't it? I mean, in your case, go to jiu-jitsu. I mean, anxiety, where does that come from? I mean, you know, what causes it? How does it manifest? How do you deal with it? Because there's many anxious people out there, isn't there? Many people that suffer from anxiety. And I find with people that I know, you can kind of create scenarios in your own mind and, you know, create more problems for yourself. And you sit there thinking, oh my God, you know, how do you cope with that? How do you deal with it?
So I think, first of all, it's important to note that there's different levels. And I know what Mel always says, what my wife always says, is anxiety is the thing that keeps you safe. Anxiety is the thing that makes you question, is this safe to do this? And that's that feeling. So I guess when it's just kind of, oh, I'm going out on stage, I'm going to go perform, I'm nervous, I'm anxious. That's the brain, isn't it, that does that? So there's all different ways to cope. And I suppose it depends what it is you're anxious about, whereabouts you are in your life, because we talk about anxiety like it's this one thing, but it can be huge. People get anxious coming up to Christmas. Can I afford all the presents? So I think it's about knowing exactly what it is that you're dealing with.
Okay. Here's another one here. My uncle, I reckon, is depressed, 57 years old, disabled, and no friends. He just sleeps all day in his bungalow. No life, really. He lives in Slough, so not safe for him to go out, sadly. I mean, that's...
Yeah, that's really difficult, but it is something that's treatable, and it's something, if people are recognising that there's an issue, then other people can go in there and help. And I think that's really important. And it's good that somebody can go, we think you are. And even if you go to someone and say, we think you're depressed, no, I'm not. Well, look at this. You're not looking after. These are the signs of depression. You're not looking after yourself. You're not eating. You're sleeping all day. You've got no motivation. We need to try and get in there and help them.
And I suppose if you suffer from it as well, or you've had an issue with it, you recognise the signs in yourself, don't you? I mean, Russ said it the other day, you know, when he has an up, he can have a down. He knows it, he can see it coming, and he plans for it. I suppose we're all different in that way. I mean, here's another one, Rob Walker: get a short walk into a jog and eat what you want in moderation. Also, I'll let you know, food once a month, not for all that. Okay. Couple of tips there.
Again, the regular exercise tips are really a really good idea. Like, just not even just about fitness, but getting out there and getting fresh air. And I go for a walk every morning. I do fasted cardio every morning with the dog, And some days I really don't want to do it. And halfway round, I'm like, do you know what? Life is amazing. The sun's shining. It's crisp. And the positive endorphins in the brain. And it really does set you up for the day. And I would suggest that to anyone that's struggling. Start with that.
I agree. I mean, some people, it's just getting out the door, isn't it? I went for a walk today, about a mile down the road. We got the coastline, and it's absolutely beautiful. Blue sky, the sea, the sun, the sand, and it's the best tonic. My wife and I went for regular walks all the time, and can't recommend it enough. But one of the things I wanted to show was actually your channel. One of the things that the Fitness Hutch and his wife do is a mental health podcast, where they basically just sit down and it's chew the cud, basically just talk about mental health, his mental health, her mental health in general. I've listened to a couple of them and I think they're brilliant. I'll show you the actual screen here. Don't know if everybody can see that. It's the actual channel itself, the Fitness Hutch channel. And just make it a bit bigger. We'll just get rid of me and Hutch there. And there's literally a series of podcasts. Now, the ones that are the important ones are the bottom ones here: Mental Health Wellbeing Podcast, Part 1 and 2, Episode 2, Part 1 and 2. And it's literally all about mental health. Now, if we pull him back in a second. Now, if I play, say, 30 seconds of one of these just to show people what you're about, which one would you recommend, or just go for any one? Okay. I think your sound might have gone again. Can you hear me? Yeah, so he's miming. Let's just remove that a minute. Can you hear me? Yeah, no sound. If you go out and come back in again, because that fixed it before. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that happened. That happened earlier when we were talking about what we were going to show, and the sound just suddenly went. And going out and coming back in again fixed it, which is what he's doing now. Just have a look at some of the comments and say hellos. I saw my mum in the chat. Hello to mum. Saw you come in there. Soundwave, what have you said? I have been signing on for 10 years. I don't get depressed. I drive my work coaches up the wall and across the ceiling and out the window, and get brand new one to play with. Excellent. All right, here he is. He's back again.
We're having a nightmare, Andy.
Yeah, well, we can hear you again. It's that thing that happened earlier where I put your thing up and your sound just suddenly went. Now, what I wanted to do was just play, 20 or 30 seconds of one of those podcasts just so they can see what you're about and what you do. I mean, do you have a preference to which one, or shall I just do eeny, meeny, miny, mo?
No, so just the top ones on there. I used to do a fitness podcast, and I've left them on there. They're not very good. I've left them on there because I believe everything should be real and I'm not going to hide anything. But the mental health ones are the ones with the pictures of me and Mel on. So, any of them really, if you want to put them on, they're all good.
Okay, all right. I'll pick one
as long as it don't kill my sound again.
I'll pick one, and we'll do about 30 seconds of it just so they can see a preview of what you do. You don't swear in it, do you? Yeah. Right. I'm going to
Yeah.
I'm going to mute your mic and I'm going to mute mine. Otherwise, we get the echo. But I'll bring us back in a minute.
Green or not? You're the one in the orange hoodie.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, look, all professional. Okay, so now can we talk about mental health? Because you've got your glasses on.
I've got my superhero outfit on. It's
I
like
didn't recognise you. Like business Mel.
I know, it's like work Mel, home Mel. I walk past people in the street and they don't see me. I don't know who I am.
So we said that we're just gonna try and make this as natural as we can.
Right.
But we need to acknowledge that we're recording.
You're not going to start fighting.
No, I'm not going to start fighting. Although you say that, I was filming. What was it? Oh,
replaced it, but that still wouldn't have stopped you feeling upset about it.
I'm still upset about it now.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. People become very attached to things, don't they?
But would you say that's a mental health issue, or would you say that's an everyday? You lose shit, you break I cracked the screen on my laptop. I'm still not over that. But I wouldn't say that's a mental health issue. I'd say that's just life.
It is life, and bad things happen to good people all the time, don't they? And good things happen to good people all the time. But I suppose no, it's not a mental health issue because you haven't lost sleep over it, have you? You haven't sat there ruminating and thinking about it. And other than that initial kind of, I need to find it. Where is it? Let me go back up there. Let me have a good look round. Like you've not been up there every day for the last week for an hour on your hands and knees looking around. You haven't.
Have we still got sound?
Yeah, you still got sound. I think I cut your wife off mid-sentence, so tell her I said sorry.
It's fine. I do it all the time.
Yeah, as you can see, folks, it's brilliant. They literally sit in their front room and they talk about mental health. It's absolutely. There's a television show, isn't there? Gogglebox. It reminds me of that in some ways. They just sit on the sofa and talk about mental health, or in your case, it does. I think it's a brilliant format. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
And I think that's what we want to look at is not being so formal. You get a lot of people that have been through mental health services and they go, "Oh, the mental health services are rubbish," or they didn't do this, or they didn't. We don't want that. We don't want people to look at us like professionals. We want to look at us like two people who know a little bit about health, fitness, well-being, mental health, who we're just regular people. You know, we don't hide anything. We don't make anything fake. We're just who we are. I mean, when we did Mel, we did a special talking about Mel and her life. She sat there in her pajamas. Like no airs and graces, no dressing up, just regular people.
Excellent. If anyone's got any questions for the Fitness Hutch, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll pick them up and we can put them to him. I'll just put this comment on the screen. There's a mutual friend of ours that's just appeared. Russ, there he is. Good evening, my friend. Hello. He's been on a video call, but he's evening Andy, Paul, Mel, Bloodnose, and Andy's Army. That's what they call our lot, Andy's Army.
See, someone tried. Sorry, go on.
We were going to get the T-shirts done with Andy's Army. Someone had the idea, but no, not done yet. But
someone named my subscribers Hutchites the other day.
Hutchites.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I love it.
Take off.
I love it. Excellent. Let's see what else we got here. Drift Wannabe says something. Stop trying to put labels on things. Stop over-analysing everything, and you'll be better off. I suppose.
I agree.
I suppose with anxiety, that that's very valid for one thing. But Russ, do you want to come on and say hello? You've had Trevor gate crashing your live streams all week. Do you want to gate crash mine? Drop me a message and I'll send you the link, and you can join in as well.
I think can I just come back to the drift guy?
Yeah, sure.
What
I'll get the comment
there,
again.
I think that's a really important point, and I don't think that's just about mental health. I think that's about a lot of stuff in general. When we're starting to talk about like overanalyzing anything, like just because someone's against something doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. And I had a conversation actually with Trevor a couple of weeks ago where we were saying about if we tell somebody about themselves because they're being a dick, like that doesn't make us a bad advocate for mental health. And again, if you're feeling a bit low and a bit miserable and you're having a rubbish day, that doesn't mean you're suffering from depression. Everybody has low, miserable days. And I think we're getting to the point now where we're just lumping everything in all the time. Everything is mental health, mental health, mental health. And it takes away from the real issues of it. And then that's when it doesn't get sorted.
I mean, I get called grumps if I get in a foul mood. Doesn't mean I'm suffering from mental health, does it? It's
no, absolutely.
No, absolutely. Well, Russ has just said send me the link, Andy. So we'll get him in on this, and I
mean that's where it started to take off for me. Russ took me on. I sent him a message and said, I like what you're doing, and he said let's get you in, and he got me in, and I did a live with him, and then Trevor was like, yeah, okay, I'll have some of this as well. I'll bring him in. I mean, I was just saying on Twitter earlier last week. Trevor had me live. This week he had James Dreyfus. I don't know whether I feel a little bit like a celebrity. I think James had some big shoes to fill, but he nailed it.
Absolutely. I couldn't believe that when he said he had that lined up. I thought, wow. I'm just sending Russ the invitation link. Russ, check your email. It should be in there. And come join us and say hello to everybody. But yeah, I mean, with YouTube, it's great. I mean, I was there. I found out about sanity checkers, and we started talking. We've spoken to each other. I knew about Russ, absolutely average, so I gave him a shout, and we've done a live together. Then Russ started talking to Trevor. Russ found you, then you ended up with Trevor. I found, and it's lovely how it all works. That's how we should do it. It works like that. We help each other, and that's how we grow. It's brilliant, and particularly if you've got a message like yours. So much the better. Here he is.
And I think if we can all do that and link together, then it benefits all the subscribers because they're the people we're here for, aren't we? We all like each other. We're all getting on, but we're here for the subscribers.
That's right. I mean, we've all got our own niche, haven't we? Cost of living, mental health, general chit chat, whatever you like, and we're here for them. Definitely. Are you all right, Russ? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah, brilliant. Let's bring him in.
Hello, is he?
Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Hello, Paul.
Hello, with the cap. How are you?
I'm absolutely average, my friend. How are you?
As per usual. Yeah,
it's all good. Yeah, I had you playing in the background, but I had a video call with. Let me just get you off my screen on the other screen. There we go. All gone. Good. I had you on the iPad in the background, but I was chatting to Watering, who's at a truck stop in Australia somewhere. He's on his way fishing, so we had like 45 minutes on the phone, and I said, I've got to get off. Andy's on, and Paul, and he's like, oh yeah. And just another thing is just you kept on going. So I was like, okay, one more thing. But it's great because I've got some ideas for a new video which I'm going to put out tomorrow. Okay. So you'll find out more about that tomorrow. How's the chat going? I've missed most of it, but I was there, kind of.
Excellent. Oh, I saw your rant about McDonald's earlier, and I should remember that.
I went out for a decent one today.
Don't have tomato sauce. Yeah, we've just been talking about what Paul does, his channel.
It's impressive, isn't it? What he gets up to.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much. No, I think.
Thank you. I like that term.
impressive. Well, it is because you're giving to the community and you're influencing young people. You're helping people who are in dire straits and at a real integral part of their lives. And you're just being there. You're a bastion. You don't even have to do anything. You can just talk to someone and make them a cup of tea or whatever. But the effect that you're having on those people's lives is just impressive beyond recognition. And that award that you were nominated for this year, I'm pretty sure that you'll get that next year.
We haven't actually touched on that, Russ. Well, so in my day job, I manage a youth homeless project of 9 teenagers who are 16 to 18 who otherwise would be homeless. And when I started on with Russ, it was talking about a hero award that I'd been nominated for the work that I do in the community. So yeah, I think that's kind of we're more talking about the mental health in the podcast on here tonight, Russ. We haven't mentioned much. I don't want people to be confused that I'm doing this great service. It's two separate things. The young people and the youth homeless project is my day job, and that's. I mean, I love that. I talk about that for hours and hours and hours.
You can talk about anything for hours and hours.
It really is amazing. I could, yeah. You're right.
It's all good, my friend. It's all good. No, it's just an impressive resume. You're one of the community's finer people, and you deserve to have a voice. And it's great. How many subscribers are you up to now? You just broke 300, didn't you?
305 when I looked.
I think.
And
3.5, 3.6.
Yeah, it will keep going. It took me 2 years, but it was. I was probably a year before Andy pushed me, and then obviously, like he was just saying at the beginning, well, when I came on, Trevor pushed me, and you can't have people help your channel without helping someone else in the background, and that's just how it goes, isn't it? It's like you spread the love, baby, spread the love.
Absolutely, and it's 306. I just looked.
Yeah,
nice.
Hopefully, you get some more.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. So,
but there's people there listening to you. They're interested.
So I mean, I really wanted.
And I'll tell you, someone in the comments said, "Start farting."
This week.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
Yeah, go on. Sharp, Russ. Let the man speak.
So it's always these little milestones, and when you picked me up, Russ, I was on 94. And I kept saying to Mel, I just want to get 100, just want to get 100. And then it went mental up to like 288. And I was like, I just want to do that 300. I'll be happy when I've got 300. Yeah. And once I've got to 300, that's amazing. And if nobody else subscribes, and then 306 people, if even 1% of them are positively influenced from what we do, then that's amazing. If I can reach 400, 500, 600, 700 people and positively influence them as well, that's even better. You know, the more people we can reach and help, you know, absolutely. That's what we want.
I'm just working out your percentages. I never was any good at maths, but if you got 1% of 306 people, is that 3.06% of a person? Yeah, they probably need some help. That poor 0.6% of a person. I would help them. Just got to find them. How'd you find someone as small as that? Sorry, I've had a beer. I'm back on the tea though. I'm back on the tea. I've had 1 pint of beer and I'm a cockwomble.
Is it sending you scatty?
Yeah, it doesn't agree with me all the time.
Yeah, that and the McDonald's tomato ketchup. You're having a.
Do you know what? I'm going to confess, I haven't had a chance to see the McDonald's video yet, but I saw the thumbnail. And I was like, as soon as I get a chance, I want to see what's gone on.
My mate I updated the thumbnail a couple of hours ago. My mate is working on another thumbnail because the one that he sent me that I've updated it to just now made me think of that film Falling Down. So I sent him a screenshot of me holding like a baseball bat, but without holding a baseball bat. So I just stood in front of my green screen, took a few photos and sent them to him. So I'm hoping to get a falling down type thumbnail for that video. That's going to be quite fun. I think the thumbnail's going to be more fun than the video, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'll tell you what, that burger and chips that you took a photograph of and put in your community, that looked a lot better than a many McDonald's, I'll tell you. Was that in a pub?
Yeah.
That was it, at the Custom Cafe on the Marsh Road where I live. It's a friend of mine who owns it, Caroline. She has a bike night there. She has a live night there. She has jam nights there. She does all sorts, and it's a real hub for the biking community around here. So I do like to support that as much as I can. She when she first opened that cafe, she offered it to me. I was an observer for the IAM at the time. I don't do it anymore, and I may get back into it. I don't know, but I was offered. I didn't take her up on it, but I was offered one of the back rooms there as a classroom, so I could just do some like not schoolwork, the classwork, the theory. That's the word I was looking for. The theory work for the advanced motorcycling. And I never got around to doing it. And then I don't think she used that room as the staff room. She ended up using it for something else anyway. But yeah, she's just been a great avid supporter for bikers in this community. And she's a good girl. So I like to support her as much as I can. Brilliant. I might even do a video from there one day.
Okay. Get her on the camera.
Oh, I don't know if she'd agree to that. But yeah, we'll see.
There was a comment that just come on the screen a minute ago.
Yep.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that absolutely hits it now. I'm just going to read it out so my wife can hear. It says the general public don't understand mental illness because the media only report when someone does something bad. They label all mentally ill as a danger and they're nothing of the sort. And I think that Mel, who's in here now, would agree that's the general public are like that, aren't they? It's always in the media. It's always schizophrenic stabs someone, and it's such scaremongering, and we've got to stop that. I've got to stop it.
I was watching your live earlier today because I fell asleep because I had to go to sleep. Your live didn't send me to sleep. I was just falling asleep anyway. I was trying to watch it last night. But I caught up with it later. Yeah. He says, it's the truth, man. It's the truth. I was watching it earlier today. And there was something that Mel said about the history of mental health. People like 20 years ago, for example, there was only really schizophrenia and bipolar or something. Maybe she said bipolar wasn't even a thing then, or it wasn't recognised. But people's attitudes towards it, they were scared of it. They thought, okay, if someone's got a mental health problem or an issue, then it must be really, really bad. So you were grown up to believe that anything mental health was bad. That's why I'm really proud of that phrase that I coined, mental wealth, because it's not bad. It's just an issue that needs to be dealt with. And another thing that Mel said, she doesn't treat the symptom, she treats the patient, and it all just resonates. But there are going to be certain situations where you have to treat the symptom, but where she works and what she does with her job, she treats the patient. And I loved that. It was just an understanding, a recognition, and that's why your podcast is so valuable, because that sort of information, it might just be a flippant comment between you two. Like Andy said, it's just you two on your sofa like Gogglebox. You can have a little flippant comment towards each other, like not even flippant, that's the wrong word. Just off the cuff comment. That's probably more like it.
Candid.
Candid. But it has so much weight and resonance to other people that hear it, and they think, yeah, that's exactly that. But the mental health history is quite interesting in as much as you go back 20 years and it had such a negative mashed potato head. This is what I say, blood knows. What word am I thinking? He's awesome at this.
He's in the chat.
It just resonates with people that they understand that they have now got an answer to a problem. They couldn't really put a lid on that jar. They couldn't understand it. But when someone else says it, they break it down and it makes more sense. They go, it's not just me. I'm not the only person that's dealing with this. I'm not the only person that's living with this. There is help out there. You've got to find where it is. You've got to understand what help you need and all these other things. But there are avenues that we can take and get that help. And we can do things for ourselves. We can do things for ourselves that help.
There was a clip at the end of one of the podcasts. I can't remember which one it was talking about nutrition. And again, this was just one of them little things where Mel just come out with a comment about people with eating disorders and how they help them associate food again with the smell. They take them a meal, even though they don't want it, because the smell of it can kick their brain back into wanting food again. And it wasn't something that you would probably ever think of. And just them little gems that you can come out with when you've got that knowledge. And sometimes it might take 2 hours of sat recording before one little gem comes out. But that one thing, somebody living at home might be living with a daughter or a son or someone who's got an eating disorder. They go, actually, I'm going to bring them a really strong smelling meal because it might just fire them back up. And that might be one person that we've helped. And that's absolutely what we want to do.
So you just done it there. You just drop a strong smelling meal might trigger someone from an eating disorder. You just did it there. It's a candid chat that can help so many people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I converted a vegetarian back to a meat eater one time. Do you know how I did it?
I want to know.
They walked into the kitchen when I was making a bacon sandwich. Quite seriously, it was the smell of bacon. I said, "That's it."
I said that to my nephew. He's a vegan, and I wish he wasn't, but he is. And I reckon I might be able to get him to come round with a bacon sandwich. And he said he sometimes eats fish and chicken, so he's not a vegan, is he?
That's a shit vegan. I was a vegan.
Huh?
Oh, I was a vegan.
How did your mental health affect being? How did your diet affect your mental health?
What I've always said is that you've got to challenge your own thinking, and it's all well and good me saying the vegan diet's shit if I've never tried it. So I did a year as a vegan eating a plant-based diet. It really improved some of my physical health issues. The arthritis in my feet was practically gone. I didn't find it affected my mental health at all, but I missed steak, I missed cheese, I missed eggs. So I kind of phased it back in, and I still do eat some plant-based stuff and some of the substitute stuff that I used to have. And I cut out, I still don't eat like sausages and stuff, but I can't call myself a vegan because I eat meat, cheese and eggs. So, but I found things that were better and better ways of doing things by just challenging that whole idea of actually vegan diets are just shit. A lot of it is, I'm going to be honest, I fucking hated a lot of it. But there was some bits that were really good. I'm sorry for swearing, Andy. I forgot myself for a second. But yeah,
I'll let you have that one.
Yeah.
Comment here on the screen. Hello, I have a friend with mental illness, but she doesn't want to face it.
It's quite a broad statement, and I think it depends. Which one? Yeah, it depends what mental illness, how it's affecting them. It's easy, and again, Lorraine, I don't want to. This is Lorraine's opinion that her friend's got mental illness. It depends on. I mean, it's a massive statement, but I would say that if they genuinely need help, then it's got to be more than just a comment on here. We would need to know what the mental illness is, how serious is it, are they imminent risk of suicide, is it that far of mental illness, or is it depression? So it's quite a broad statement to be able to comment on.
Yeah, and is it doesn't want to face it, or doesn't want to admit there is a problem? And what is the problem?
Yeah.
Well, denial is subject to so many different types of conditions. It could be alcoholism. It could be any type of addiction. It could be, someone who's a workaholic could be in denial because they're denying their family and they're denying the fact that they're denying their family, but there could be something underlying. So it's a real tough one. If someone that's not going to face an issue, which is staring them openly in the face, irrespective of what it is, that before they help themselves, they need to understand that there is an issue which is challenging for them. They need to understand that.
On the description to the podcasts, there's a whole list of helplines, and some of them are helplines for people who are living and working with people that have got mental health issues. So if anyone wants to have a look at them, and there's people on there you can contact and talk to about it, you know, to say, you know, this person, this is how they're presenting, this is what they're doing, and they will be able to help accordingly. I can't remember which one it is that says helping. Yeah, there's quite a lot on there. They're definitely worth a look. And if you're living with someone or working with someone or even know someone that's suffering, there's some really good helplines on there for all people from all different walks of life.
I love that you put that in your description as well. That was one of the things I put in my notes when I spoke to you. I wanted to highlight that you do that because anytime that I have done anything about mental health, I've never really done it as a general topic. I've done it more about me and how I'm overcoming my own adversities, and in the hope that that might be a positive message to somebody else. I don't watch my videos. I haven't got a clue what I've been talking about, if I'm perfectly honest. But when I noticed that you've put that in the description, it just resonated, I suppose, with me. I'm using that word again. It's just a cracking idea, and I love that you did that.
Some of the helplines on there are really good as well, because it's not just ringing NHS Direct. There was one that comes to mind that's called Shout. It's a text service, and it's called Shout if you don't want to talk. So you text it rather than ringing somebody. So if you really don't want to say it out loud, you can send a text to get the support. And that's just one of the examples of the great stuff that's out there that people just don't know about.
I will say, talking about mental health helpline numbers, there's I live near Beachy Head, and I went up there for a dog walk years ago with my now ex-wife, and we had a look. Don't ask me why. I opened the phone box door. It wasn't ringing. I wasn't making a phone call, but there was a phone box, and I just thought, I'm going to open the door and have a look and see what's in this phone box. And there was a Samaritan's call card there, and it said, "Feeling suicidal, who cares?" And that's all I read. And I just thought, that was the wrong. There's 4 words at the top, and it was in bold, and it was the biggest thing that you could see on the Samaritan's calling card. Obviously there was a telephone number there, but I still can't remember that number. I didn't read it. My mind just thought to myself, if someone was in that state of mind, and I won't say that S word again, but if someone was in the S state of mind at Beachy Head, and they was to open that phone box door, and they would see that, and they would just thought, who cares? Yeah. They would take that sarcastically, wouldn't they? Because they're not in a positive frame of mind.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I let the Samaritans know about that. I told them what I thought about that. And maybe I'll go back up there and see if they've changed it. Be interesting.
You go up there with a pen and write, I do.
Yeah, well, I do.
Yeah, lots of people do. Lots of people do.
Absolutely.
We care would have been better, wouldn't it? We care. Yeah. Or someone cares.
Lots of people care. It's,
right, guys.
It takes a stranger to care about a stranger. But humans can be the worst species and the most evil and the horrible, nasty bastards we are.
Absolutely. Right, guys, we're just over the hour. I'm afraid because of work commitments, I'm going to have to cut it off now because I've got an early one driving in the morning, as per usual. I want to thank everybody for coming and listening this evening. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the Fitness Hutch, go across and subscribe to his channel. The link for that is in the description of this live stream. And while you're at it, go and there's a guy I know that complains about McDonald's on his YouTube channel. You might want to go and subscribe to him as well. Goes by the name of Russ, and he's absolutely average. So that's great. And subscribe to me as well if you haven't done so. Importantly, get the thumbs up on this live. Hit that because it helps the algorithm move it around, and a subject like this we need to know about. Seriously, if anybody's got any issues or concerns or anything like that, mental health wise, go over to the Fitness Hutch, leave a comment, like they said, and it will start somewhere. Talk. And there's one thing I always say: if you know somebody somewhere that's got a problem up here or other way, phone them up, check on them. Are you okay? That'd mean the world to somebody that's there with trouble. Anyway, thank you very much, Russ, for gate crashing my live stream. Good to see you for the last quarter of an hour or so. I thought you might want to come on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paul, for this evening. If you can hang on for a minute or two once I end the live stream, just so I can talk to you off. That would be cool. There'll be another live stream next week, folks. There'll be content coming out in the morning as well from 8 o'clock as usual. And until next time, I bid you all toodaloo.
Can I just say thank you as well?
No.
No.
Oh, gone.
You can. We're still live.
Oh.
Say it.
I thought we'd gone. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you to everyone that's joined, but I especially want to say thank you to Russ and Andy for having me here tonight. Russ for setting me up and linking me in with everyone. Absolutely amazing. And you guys are just great. Any of my subscribers that haven't subscribed to these two guys yet, got to get over and subscribe because their content is amazing and average.
No.
Thank you very much. Andy and
Thanks,
average.
guys.
And with that, good night.
Take care.